everybody, and welcome back. Georgia Fun Boy here, and I am accompanied by Slim Jim. He is my wingman. You can call him Slim, you can call me whatever you want, but I prefer Georgia. Now, when I camp alone, it's dangerous, but when I camp with another person, it's twice as dangerous. Just mathematically, I have twice as many trip mines, twice as many hives. Could inevitably end up having up to 4 trip mines out at a time and up to 8 hives out at a time, leaving a total of 12 different routes that we're covering just with 2 people. Now, if you watch my other videos, you'll know that spawn control and map control will help you get the win. Not only that, it'll help get your score streaks and really boost your KD. I did talk about a lot of things, but something I didn't speak enough about was about vulnerabilities. Every time you turn around, it's a vulnerability. Every time you turn around to check an angle that you may or may not be sure is covered, it's creating a vulnerability. So having these routes covered increases your opportunity because you're not having to turn around so often. Every time you reload, that's a vulnerability. Every time you got to call in a UAV and you're counter UAVs and spit out your hives, you're creating vulnerabilities. Now, obviously, you can't avoid every vulnerability out there, but you do want to limit as many as you can. The more people you have on your side, the easier you're going to be able to do this. Now, of course, you don't always work together as a team. It helps if you practice. Working together as a team and knowing how they work and knowing that they're going to cover their areas while you cover yours, it's going to make all the difference in the world. Now, I'm down here at the bottom right part of the screen, and I know that I don't ever have to look left because Slim's got that area. Now, while he's up playing around with the shotgun upstairs, I'm down here covering right, so he knows he doesn't really have to check right that often. Now, he does have a lot of vulnerability by trying to cover all the different routes by being upstairs. It's a little easier to do once he sets up the hives and all the trip mines. I'm going to continue to keep blocking out this right side over here so he's got a little bit of trust that at least this side is blocked out. I've got to continue to trust him even though he's getting killed a little bit, that side will eventually be locked down. As I said before, that is the one vulnerability to camping, is once they get a camper out of their spot, they're going to camp there themselves. So what Slim is going to do right here is he's going to lock out this area for safety before he starts spraying his hive out everywhere. So if he gets killed while he's spraying that hive out, not only is it going to ruin his chances of getting the 125 points per kill with the hive, but it's going to ruin all the routes and angles that we have blocked out. That's not going to be good for me or him. Now, if you see down here on the bottom part of your screen, I picked up a random assault rifle. I should say that that is definitely a vulnerability because you have no idea what you're going to be picking up. However, it could save your ass, which is the reason why I picked them up in the first place, because sometimes I run out of ammo and I've got to have some sort of backup, and I don't want to use all my equipment items just to put another gun on my class. However, every time that I have to pick a weapon up, it's creating seconds almost that somebody can shoot me where I can't even shoot back. That's definitely a vulnerability. Some things you just have to weigh out, the risk versus the reward. For me, sometimes it's worth the reward to take the few seconds to pick up a weapon. For Slim, he's taking a little bit more risk by being upstairs to the Breckley. However, there's a lot more reward if he ends up getting all his kills because there's a lot of foot traffic up there. My side of the town over here on the skyscraper wall run, there's not as much risk because there's really only one location they can be coming from if I know where the spawns are at. Both end up paying off regardless. Whether it's the slow turtle pace or the fast rabbit pace, both end up inevitably helping each other out. Some calls in the first serve, and then I start calling in the second, and then we got the race. But then when those are out, we always have wraps soon to follow. So not only do we have every route covered with trip mines and hives, but we also use the serve, the wraith, and the wraps to cover every other route possible on the map. It's really the end of the story as far as team camping is concerned. I do want to talk about a little bit of gamer theory here while we got some time. And one of those things is meta map positioning and how those hotspots actually change throughout the season. Now, this is Black Ops 3, so the season is way late in the season. You can even say postseason. And a lot of the hotspots that start off in what might be the beta maps definitely change throughout the season, where people don't go to those spots as often, and it's really the meta or the map routes that flank those positions that end up becoming the new hot spots. So if you're meta on the meta and you're covering the spot that counters the flank spot, you're actually going to be one up on your enemy as the season goes on. If you're going to be playing this upcoming season's WW2 game, you're going to see how the routes that everybody takes at the beginning of the beta maps is going to completely change by mid-season. And that's definitely one of the nuances to this game that I really, really enjoy, is that no matter how many times you play a map, it's always going to be different depending on who you're playing against. These aren't bots that you're playing against. Now, most people are. They do things very, very typical like most players do. But as the season goes on, people wise up and they get smarter. They either learn from watching the kill cams or from watching you play, or just watching and adapting within the game itself that you're currently playing. But yeah, it's definitely great to see how people try to combat our kind of strategy, which is really the best way to combat it is to not kind of come into our zone or area, but try to draw us out. Sometimes you do see people play differently. They try to adapt and they try to beat us. Kudos to those people. I love a challenge. I always commend that, and I always appreciate the challenge. I'm not saying it's always going to work, but it's nice to have a challenge from time to time. It makes me a better player, and I hope that I make other people a better player too. It's really the variety of different players that makes this game what it is. If this game didn't have campers, and if everybody was rushers, or if everybody was just campers, this game wouldn't be as good as it is. It's the variety of all the different players that brings out the better qualities in all of us. It's getting us all to think differently about how our enemies are thinking. If my enemy doesn't think that, or if they just want to undervalue me or not respect their enemy, then I'm totally okay with that too. If they don't have anything to learn from me, then good. I'll probably beat them because they think just that. But as for me, I have lots to learn from everybody, and it's, I think, because of that way of thinking that I'm going to usually end up either adapting or besting the enemy. Now, it is good to adapt, but sometimes it's really good to stick to what you know, to stick to practice or rehearsal, if you will. Me and Slim have done this 1,000 times, so even though like everything didn't work out super smooth for him at the beginning, he kind of stuck it out, stuck to the game plan, and it eventually paid off. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk about, and that's the developers' view on the variety of different gaming. I don't think the developers particularly like campers. They've slowly gotten rid of audio in the game. They have slowly gotten rid of things like the trip mines with the giant lasers that come out of it, the new Infinite Warfare. And the new season, Ghost and Scavenger are going to be completely separated via no perks. It's really just going to have to be a wait and see with how Activision has handled camping with the new WW2 game. My guess is that it's going to be completely nerfed, as it has been every year for the last 6 years of Call of Duty. No worries though, I'll find a way to adapt and destroy it just like every other year. Thank you for watching this far. Please remember to like and subscribe, there'll be many more videos to come.